All right, we'd like to welcome everyone back to the Conscious Crew podcast. Today we want to discuss the smoking age for e-cigarettes and tobacco raising from age 18 to 21. What do you guys have on, what are you thinking about this? How do you feel about it?
I'm pretty...
coming from a smoker.
Yeah, coming from a smoker. I'm pretty solid on the fact that I think that if you can fight, you can smoke. If you're old enough to go to war, you should be able to smoke.
Oh, so in the military, okay.
Yeah. And so, but, I mean, it's an issue that we want. I don't think raising the age is going to be a solution.
Oh, you think people are going to smoke anyway? Yeah.
I mean, it was 18. I started smoking when I was like 15.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to change anything, but it is weird how.
Let me come back at you and say, what's the benefit?
What's the benefit of smoking?
What's the benefit of younger people being able to smoke?
I mean, I guess there are no benefits, but people are going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So each individual has their
people are going to
choice.
smoke crack too, but that don't mean it should be legal.
So
True.
Yeah.
That's a good topic there because
smoking crack?
no. I mean, like the fact that when things are illegal, it seems to be more prominent than if it was legal. There's no black market for it.
Okay, so my thought on this, I mean, we can't fix everything in one day or in one legislation.
Right, yeah.
So just because people can fight at the age of 18 or go to war or enlist in the military, just to make that correlation is kind of, to me, it's like we got to win the battles that we can win. So not allowing younger people, or in my opinion, cigarettes should just be banned outright. I don't feel like they should even be legal anyway. If there's no benefit to it, it's like why is this legal anyway?
If people want to grow their own tobacco and make their own cigarettes and stuff, why not? But the way that the tobacco company is set up, they are like the most corrupt and one of the most horrible corporations. They are the definition of capitalism. And I just think that you get all these people that are really mad, they're taking our freedom away by taking away our cigarettes. And that's confusing to me because these same people who are constantly rebelling against the system are literally part of the system. When you get addicted to cigarettes, you are the system in a way. That's kind of how I feel. Like, you're not rebelling, you're actually contributing to the same system that you claim.
That reminds me of a Lupe Fiasco lyric. He says, you complain about the liquor store. What you drinking liquor for?
That's true. That's very true. Because, on the other side of what I said, on an individual level, it would hurt me if my kids smoked, and I would definitely discourage them from smoking. But I also, I guess, from a worldly view, I guess I just see it in a way that people are going to do whatever they want to do anyway.
If the government's here to do anything, it should be to protect us.
Yeah.
Protect us from ourselves, protect us from each other, protect us from outside.
They definitely shouldn't be protecting companies that are in place to harm us.
Right. So
there is no benefit to smoking. In the past, the legislation has been to protect these tobacco companies, which is why I'm pro this law. I think it's a step in the right direction because it is attempting to... I don't know what the intention of the government to do this is. There could be many. There's many people out there that are saying, they just want another reason to pull people over. They just want another reason to say, that person looks kind of 20. Let me pull him over and ID him. Mm-hmm. I think that does happen, unfortunately, and that's a whole different situation of some people abusing power, and that's another topic. But it doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to be pulled over more now that there's a law out against... saying that people have to be 21 to smoke. Yeah. It's not, that does not mean that's going to happen. It already is happening that people get pulled over for stupid reasons every day or stopped by police or forcefully ID'd, but that's another issue. It's not a reason why more laws shouldn't be created.
The one thing that does concern me is the marketing towards the youth with the vape cigarettes. Sure. And then now we don't know what that'll do to people. I mean, we know what tobacco does. there's at least you can weigh that risk when you start smoking. You're like, okay, some people get sick from it, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
But with like the e-cigarettes, I mean, we have no idea. They're so new. We don't know what that can do to people. And then,
well, there are new studies. Well, I mean, there's always
people are-
contradictory
I always hated
studies.
somebody. I'm not gonna call anybody out, but somebody used to always insist on like vaping in my house around my kids, and I just always like. Okay, first of all, I just want to say that I'm not against smokers, even though it sounds like I used to smoke. I still like every now and then might take like a couple drags off of a cigarette socially. But I try my best not to ever be addicted to anything, and I do not want to promote or condone smoking in any way, shape, or form to my kids or to anybody else. Mm-hmm. But when people used to want to vape around my kids, and they'd be like, well, it's not cigarette smoke, like, it's safe. And I'm like, how do you know it's safe?
Right.
I don't think that you blowing any kind of chemical, or I literally clean with vinegar, and you're going to tell me I clean with vinegar and essential oils, and you're going to try to convince me that the chemicals in vaping are safe?
Right.
Like,
I used to
people hate me for that in my family.
Like,
so.
you know, 20 years from now, what is going to be the effects of these vape cigarettes and stuff? That's what worries me, you know. But
yeah, there's back and forth. Some people saying it's healthier, other people saying it's way worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're
ideally you don't want to inhale
water
anything
vapor.
besides oxygen.
Well, yeah,
right?
you're right, and you're putting water vapor in your lungs,
Right.
which is basically, from my understanding, is like pneumonia, or when you get sick. You know, there's you know, you get that in your lungs, and you know, so.
And this is a completely kind of, I do have a question for anybody who's listening about how many people have heard about links between the pharmaceutical companies and the tobacco companies. Like, they will have the same kind of like lobbyists working for them to get bills changed, you know, to let things kind of go. Everybody knows that smoking makes you sick, and there's certain people that are profiting off of it. So you would, all of a sudden, there'd be certain legislation passed, and then you would see that there's a lobbyist for the tobacco company that used to be a lawyer for a pharmaceutical company and stuff like that. And you start noticing, like, okay, I wonder why these companies are working so closely together. Well, one product's making you sick, the other product is selling you a cure. So it's kind of like, whatever, I am for any legislation against smoking. And yes, I do think that it is messed up that you're taking freedom away from people who are fighting for the country. That does rub me the wrong way. But I also think that the age to enlist in the Army and the age to be drafted should be increased to 21. So
that's an idea that is a solution.
Or there's even the possibility that people who are in the Army could have, you know, maybe the right to buy tobacco with a different ID. And I don't know. I could imagine that going completely wrong as well.
Yeah.
Like giving special rights to people. I mean, I could see that going into a completely, like, a horrible situation, so never mind. But, okay.
That's true.
That's where you're going,
That is
though.
very true.
Yeah.
There's so many pros and cons to everything. Yeah.
I definitely feel like this is a step in the right direction, though. With I mean, they should have just outlawed it altogether. That would have been great. But
you know, if I could
other
snap
than
my
that.
fingers and be like a magic magician, I would tell everyone not to smoke. But the fact of the matter is that people
How old were you when you started smoking?
young. I was like 15. So yeah. So
Do
I
you
mean,
think if you would have made it to 21 without smoking a cigarette that you would have picked it up at 21?
me as an individual,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was like, I mean, I was just raised in that environment where my grandpa would be like, "Here, what's that, Grandpa? Oh, it's beer. Try it. It's good for you." You know, it was, so you can't help your environment you're raised in. But the world we live in now, that's a very good question.
I was raised in a similar environment, and the reason why I quit smoking is because I know that children that grow up in houses where one of the parents is a smoker are more likely to smoke. So I kind of thought, like, okay, if I really want to break this cycle, I want to quit smoking.
Yeah. Oh,
And plus, my kids were always saying, my kids were, like, literally throwing fits when I would go outside and have a cigarette. They were really upset. And there's only so many times you can say never smoke, like, as you're smoking a cigarette.
Right, exactly.
Or I used to say, like,
I've
I'm
faced
an
that
adult.
before.
I'm an
Right,
adult,
yeah.
so let me make adult choices, you know, like,
Right.
But at the same time, they're worried because they're hearing cigarettes kill you all the time, and mommy's going outside to die.
Yeah.
You know, it is a
True.
real risk because, you know, my grandmother passed away. She had COPD, and I know a few people that literally their lungs shut down. You know, the COPD got the best of them and ended their life that way. Now, some people would say, well, you're going to die somehow, blah, blah, you know, but you don't have to make it any, not sooner than later, you know. And,
Right.
and you also
You
have...
don't have to make it painful, and then also
Right.
making a lot of people who smoke might have, like, you know, the medical bills get higher. I mean, there's a lot of ways.
Preventable, yeah.
It's definitely preventable.
Yeah, kids do not smoke. Even
Right.
Even if
We'll put a
mommy
link,
lights up a
put a link
cigarette
below.
right now,
Right.
he's about to light up a
some
cigarette, but
cigarette
you don't do
hotline.
it. You don't.
Stop Smoking Hotline and down in the description.
1-800 no
Not-
tobacco.
does
Not
not condone
endorsed.
smoking.
All right, this is
It's a
true.
bad choice, but
I would
some
pretty
people
much.
are going to make bad choices.
Word.
Well, I would like to see some comments from other people. Like, if you have any comments on this topic, definitely
Absolutely.
like to hear
Right,
your
how people
opinion
feel about
below.
it, right? Yeah. Should it be 21 plus, or you know, should
Keep
they have
it
outlawed it?
respectful.
Should
as
it-
as
yeah.
tending to spark some fires.
Right.
I mean, people are getting really upset about this, and
It was kind of. I'll be honest. The one thing that surprised
it was
me
shocking
was,
how fast that happened.
yeah, I didn't even know. It's like I didn't know that this was on the table. I didn't know anything about it. It just boom.
Oh,
And
that
it
was
happened overnight.
Yeah,
like
I was
all of a sudden
too
signs
focused
were
on
put
Trump
up.
on every station, right? And then the next thing I know, it's like, oh, they raised the price of smoking.
The age, yeah.
or the age. I'm sorry. The kids at work were the ones that brought it to my attention. I'm like, oh man, I'm living in my own world.
Well, I mean, it happened really fast.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, it did.
really did. It's crazy.
All right. Well, yeah, like they said, be sure to leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Should it have been raised? Should it still be 18? Should they outlaw it altogether? That's my vote. But be sure to leave your comments below, and catch you on the next one.